Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We have 1 minute to go before we start. 1 minute to go.
How's everybody doing?
Now what? Bob? Gonna have some fun tonight. Yes, we are. Less than a minute. Of course, your mom calls as soon as we get rolling here. Standing by. How's the sound, everybody? We sound okay? Sound okay? This is a Radio Ink live. I can't get that thing off the bottom. Radio Ink live special report. I don't know how it got on there. 6 o'clock.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And hello, everybody. Even though we're not live from Peach Time Out, we always like to say that we are because we miss being there.
Yes, we do.
And we're back again for another evening broadcast from the home studio B. Home studio A is out in the backyard. That's where we'll be Saturday. And on Saturday, we have a great show lined up. We have a doctor from a hospital, as opposed to a veterinarian, I guess, that's going to talk about the coronavirus. And we actually have somebody that has the coronavirus and lives in Naples. He's going to be coming on too.
Are you going to get the green screen fixed by then?
No. And then Janine's going to join us at the end of the show so that we could talk about how the shirts are going. But of course, tonight we can't go an entire week without a special guest. There she is, the Citizen of the Year now, former mayor, Anita Saracita. And the crowd's going wild all over the beach, but they're not actually on the beach.
You look fantastic, Missy.
No,
you do.
Thank you, Kim. Love
you
it.
Do.
Fine. Well, thanks.
So,
I was in the pool for a while today.
Yes, you look all tan.
It's what happens when you live in the life of quarantine.
So the first question we have for you is, you were going like gangbusters every single day, doing something.
I still am.
Okay, but differently, I'm guessing. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
so
differently.
What was it like the day? So you drop out of the box after everybody's all set and Ray takes over the meeting as the mayor, and then you watched. And then what? How did it feel to not be involved in all of that craziness the next day or that day? What was that like?
It was odd, but I just admire and care so much about the 5 people that are sitting there now that for me, me dropping out of the box, just was really kind of inconsequential, because I know they're going to do a really great job, and Ray's going to be a good mayor, and Rexanne's going to be a good vice mayor, and Adderhole, Dallers, and Veach are going to be great additions to the town council. And so I just felt really great. I felt really good about it. More importantly, when you know that you have done everything you can and you've finished your job, there's something very satisfying about that. And I've not had that feeling many times in my life. This was a profound sense of that. And so it was good. And like I said, I just looked at all of them sitting there, and they're on the screen, in Brady Bunch form. And I went, this is good. This is really good. So I was happy about it, quite honestly, happy for them, and happy to, step aside and let them take the lead. And then, not 15 minutes later, Murphy and I were on a call together with the other leaders throughout the county. And that was kind of nice just to have a little transition. But it was just that one call, and now I'm sure he's doing that every day, following up with it. I haven't talked to him since then, so but I'm sure he's doing just fine.
No regrets. And now just into peaceful at home.
Zero regrets. And it's amazing too. I mean, how many times have you had those moments where you just go, I have no regrets. I have none. And that's great. That's a very good feeling. And so I have switched gears from the town life to my business life. This has been, the last 4 days have been all about unemployment, a small business association, everything that everybody else is dealing with. And let me tell you, I'll take the town and the coronavirus over all of this stuff. It's that cumbersome. But anyhow, yeah. So
have you had any luck getting through to some of these places that everybody else seems like they're not having luck at?
So I did have luck filing the EIDL loan. I did have luck filing that. I am very good at making money. I'm good at spending money. I hate dealing with numbers. I just don't like dealing with numbers. And it's not that I'm bad at it. Although people who are close to me like to tell me that I am, but I'm not that bad at it. So, but it's kind of daunting. You see all these forms and it's daunting. So that payroll protection one, I'm still just sort of hanging out there with that. So
yeah, we've kind of heard the same thing. I did a Facebook thing with my day job on Tuesday, and the radio stations are small businesses around the country, and they're having the same issues. If their bank's not involved in it, they have to go to a different bank, and then maybe that bank doesn't want to deal with them because they don't have an account with them. And so
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
No, fortunately, my bank does deal with it, but I still am like, you know what? Here's what I wish. I wish that there was someone like at these respective banks that would call you up and say, Anita, I am your loan specialist. Like they do if you actually have a loan, you get to talk to somebody and they kind of walk you through it. That would be awesome. But so far, I've not encountered that person. So anyway, you just kind of move along and move through it. Everybody is, again, in that same boat. Not that helps, but we're all trying to figure it out. So there you have it. Stella has been way too clingy. Oh, Krista. Thanks, Krista. I don't know why, but I look rested. Thanks, Donna.
That's Kim's mom. That was Kim's mom watching.
I look more relaxed. Well, I am a little more relaxed. Those last 3 weeks were, as a matter of fact, the last time I was on your show, I got a couple of cards, one with a gift certificate whenever I can use it to get a massage, because this person said,
that's a good one.
You really look like you need a rest. And there are quite a few messages about I looked haggard. And I thought, haggard? That's a little rough. But
I don't know that you deserve a rest. You deserve a massage.
Well, I'll be first in line as soon as that door opens up. So far so good. But everything is good. I have no complaints right now other than just not being able to kind of have a normal life. But nobody can. So who am I to have it if nobody else can?
So you just back to the meeting real quick, because you almost made it all the way through. You were thanking everybody and you were praising them, and it was almost like at the last second, like you're almost to the end. And what threw you over the edge there?
And I got weepy. Doggone it.
That was cool though. It was fine there.
So what happened was I just started thinking of everybody I had talked to in those few weeks, and forget about the few weeks, the last 6 years, all the people who had helped me, all the people, because, everybody likes to think, I'm the mayor, or I'm the council member. But the fact of the matter is nobody does anything like this alone. I mean, you have a support team, whether it's the town staff, which they've just been extraordinary, or people who just always would check in on me or come to the meetings and support whatever is happening. And all of a sudden, I just started thinking about all of them, and I wanted to thank them. I really wanted to thank them, and that's when I was a bit overwhelmed with emotion, because there just weren't words to thank them.
Okay, well, speaking of thanking you, somebody is here with us now that wants to say hello.
Oh, my buddy.
Hey, Tom, you're on.
Hi, Anita.
How are you?
You do look just like you've had maybe a month of sleep or something.
Yeah.
You just look vibrant and happy and relieved, maybe. I don't know, but
Maybe a combination of all those things. How are you? You're on your boat. I see.
you know, we're
You're on
doing
a boat.
well.
Awesome.
Unable, yes. It's
Hey,
called
did you
quarantine.
get-
I've
you
never
get your
done this
water?
before.
Did you get your
I
water
hear
issue
water,
fixed,
too.
Tom?
We did. We have water.
Oh, good.
So we still
The
have
other
to,
day-
kind of ration it.
The other day I was talking to Tom on the phone, and his friend, his partner, John Dammerman, was nearby. And I said, well, if you guys need anything, just call me in. And JD says, we need a water maker. And I went, way out of my league. No way. No way. Yeah. It's good to
Hey,
see
Anita,
you,
I've got some
Tom.
prepared comments. Can you
Oh,
handle
yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go.
Okay. Brace yourself.
Does
All
this
right.
have to do
I've
with cars
known
again, Tom?
this has something to do with going to civilian life.
Okay.
All right. Now, how long have I known you? I've known you for almost
5 years?
5.5
years?
years. Yeah. It actually goes back to a meeting at town hall in that little old cubby hole. I think they had a table in there, but I'm not sure. There was maybe a chair too. But
I remember it.
that's where I met you, and we started talking about this land that TPI had assembled, and that's when I met you. And we had year-round moved to the island about 2.5 years prior to that, but my walking got me in trouble. And I just want to say that was a blessing. It was just such a gift to have met you. I've seen you in your role as public citizen time and time again, engaging people in process, unifying people in process, and keeping process moving to the point of getting to resolutions. I mean, you just have a tremendous talent to move things along, and you collaborate. It's not like it's my way or the highway. You have a way of drawing the best out of people and getting to a really good outcome. It's not Anita's outcome. Maybe in a big picture way, it's Anita's outcome. I'm moving this thing around because I've never done this before. It's like I'm moving and I'm dodging. I don't know if I'm in the picture or not. It doesn't really matter.
You are. You
If
look
you can hear
perfect.
me.
I can hear you fine.
I took a shower just before this.
Oh, hallelujah, Tom. Good Lord.
And Mary says hallelujah too. You know, I've observed you in action so many times, and you're respectful, professional, yet one that firmly stands your ground. And I can say too that I have seen you scrap with the best of them, and in a way that they're oblivious to what's even happening to them. True statement. Now, is that a knack? That's a knack. That's a talent that I'm just so impressed with. You know, in the process of the last 5.5 years, you've become a dear, dear friend of Mary and I, and as you have to so many people in the community. And we just look forward to spending time with you as a civilian, and just
Me too,
look
Tom.
forward to that. We've talked about that a number of times, and now we can look forward to it. And as I heard earlier, things are in good hands. This is, you know, this new council, I don't think we could be more fortunate. There's people termed out, people want to move on with their life and all this. And so it was a significant change on the dais in terms of numbers. But my gosh, how comfortable we should feel with the leadership that we have going forward. We've got all ages, as young as Dan Ehlers and Ray Murphy. I could not have imagined anybody else being mayor, and I look so forward to him as mayor. But I'm looking at my notes here, and I've got some other things I wanted to say to you. Okay, here's what the other couple of things are. One of my other observations is that you have always worked for the betterment of Fort Myers Beach. You've never had a personal agenda that benefited anybody but the greater island of Fort Myers Beach. And that doesn't mean that at times you didn't have to make, and you did many times, tough decisions, take tough positions that maybe weren't popular with a friend or this or that, because, we're a small island and, we're pretty much all friends. But you did it with the betterment of Fort Myers Beach in hand, and never a personal agenda for what can I do that would be in the best interest of Anita Saracita. Lastly, I just want to say that you truly, truly are the mother of Fort Myers Beach. You're the first mayor of Fort Myers Beach, and that was only a year or two ago. But your public service is unmatched. It's just unmatched, and your dedication and the sacrifice, and you don't take anything on halfway. You take it on 120%, and the island couldn't be more blessed. And you as a friend, in the end, is so meaningful. So thank you, Anita.
So Tom, I just, you guys, I just tell you something. Tom and I have joked over the years about what's it going to be like to actually not be a public person and a developer at some point where, we're just friends, because man, there have been a lot of times where I wanted to say, oh yeah, I'll go to that concert with you.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I'll go right on your boat. Anyhow, it's Tom, you know that I admire you, and you talk about collaborative leadership. You do the same damn thing with your companies. I've seen it time and time again, and it was a good fit. You're a good fit for the town of Fort Myers Beach. I hope that sometime in the next few months, everything will be resolved, and Margaritaville will be a light at the end of the tunnel. So I really hope that happens, and I look forward to you coming back to dry land, and I'll see you when you do.
Well, Mary and
Thanks,
I look to spend the rest of our lives here, and I just would like to, if I could, for a moment, Ed, we've got one surprise guest here that's in quarantine with us, has been now for a few weeks. And just hanging out in the open ocean. We're totally connected here, so we're helping our employees, helping our businesses survive, and our families, and just quarantining in a way that is totally safe. But if I could, my good buddy, my great buddy, and partner in Margaritaville and in the Beaches Gateway community, the residential, the off-island resort, and all that, if JD could just say, John Darriman could just say a couple words to you, Anita. Hey, Anita.
I'm so glad you got the water fixed, John, because I could not help you with that.
We survived, but it took us a while to get it working.
Good. You look rested, John.
I just wanted to. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. We've been working day and night, but just trying to keep things afloat under very trying circumstances for all of us, obviously. But I just wanted to say, I haven't known you quite as long as Tom. Maybe I met you 2 days later or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say that having grown up, spent almost most of my life in a small town, I can appreciate people who are willing to pour their heart and soul into what's best for a community, and you certainly stand for that. I know it doesn't always feel like it. People sometimes forget or don't recognize it, but you have put Fort Myers Beach, the town of Fort Myers Beach, ahead of everything else. Every decision you've made, every position you've taken is what you believe to be, the right decision for the town. And so for that, I'm grateful, and I'm sure the town is absolutely grateful. And I hope that you can enjoy some civilian life after serving as much as you have. So thank you.
Thanks, John, and thanks for hanging in there with us.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're in this.
I know.
We're in this for the long haul.
Thank God. Thank God. Have a good time out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And
goodness.
Tom Torgerson. Look at that.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about how goofy my hair looks.
No, that's
why my
another
friends
night.
call me Anita.
That was one of the questions. How did you come up with the hard T in your name, and how did you
I
get?
didn't come up with it. So my father was a Spaniard. I am a Spaniard. I actually have 2 passports, and my grandmother's name was also Anita. And so, in Spain, Anita is Anita. It's just how you say it. So here's the funny thing, and I was talking to Rexanne earlier today. This is hysterical. So I said to her, Ed's going to ask me why people call me Anita. And of course, Ray Murphy, who my father loved. Oh, my father loved Ray Murphy because they could both tell a joke, and that was a real bond between them. But my father loved Ray Murphy. And anyhow, there's some great stories about that. But so that's why he calls me Anita, because he would hear my father sing it. But anyhow, so one day I'm at home, I'm in high school, and some boy that I thought was wonderful calls the house, and my dad answers the phone. Of course, the phone is on the kitchen wall, right, where all phones were. And so this person at the end of the line says, "Hi, can I talk to Anita?" And my father says in his Spanish accent, "There is no one here by that name." And he hangs up the phone. And I'm like, what happened? And he says to me, "You need to tell your friends how to call you by your name, because I'm not, whatever." And he gives me this whole long lecture. So I'm laughing, and I wasn't laughing at the time. I was mortified. But anyhow, so I'm telling Rexanne this story, and Rexanne says, "Well, I have a similar story. Somebody calls her house, same phone on the kitchen wall, and asks for Rex. And her mother answers the phone. Her mother answers the phone this time, asks for Rex, and her mother hands the phone to her father." So it was like, oh, anyway. So Anita, I don't, that's how I say it. It's how I grew up saying my name. It's how, people, you can tell when somebody knows me really well, that's how they say my name. But I don't care how anybody says it. I'm not going to hang up on you or yank the phone off the wall.
As long as they're calling you, right? They're staying in touch.
Exactly.
So Ray,
Nice
just
for you to put Tom on there. That is so nice.
well, the niceness. The niceness is what I'm about. That's my middle name, Anita. My middle name.
Yes, I know. People thought you changed, and then you had a post last week. It's like, oh, Ed's going back to his old ways.
I know. Every time I do that, I feel a little bit guilty for about 5 minutes. But anyway, speaking of being nice, look who's joining us now, Cheryl. You guys know each other, right?
This is gonna be like let me tell you a funny story about Cheryl. I had only met Cheryl once. Cheryl was Ray Murphy's girlfriend. That's what I knew about Cheryl. And one night, Cheryl and Dan Hughes and Ray Murphy and I had dinner at Charlie's Boathouse. Do you remember this, Cheryl? Of course she does. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened that evening. Let me just say that Dan Hughes the next morning woke up and said, "Where did these salt and pepper shakers come from?" This was the funniest thing. Anyway.
I to ask him about that.
So that night, Cheryl told me how much she loved owning a business. She had a boutique in Buffalo. And so it was like our common thread. And we talked about it, whatever. Then fast forward, I think maybe I met her one other time, maybe 2, I don't know, and not a lot. Fast forward to 2017, early 2017, I'm driving down the boulevard. I just met with Al Durrett about the space at Santini Plaza, and Cheryl popped into my head. And so I called her out of the blue and I said, Cheryl, you remember when you said you wanted a store? Do you really want a store, or would you settle for managing a store? She's like, well, why? I said, because I'm thinking about opening a shop in Santini Plaza, and for whatever reason, I think you're the person for it. And that began our real friendship. That phone call right there.
Yes.
Weird.
Sure.
She's regretted it ever since.
Oh my God. Not one bit whatsoever. I love my job. I love going to work at the Islander, and I love you, and I couldn't have asked.
I love you too, Cheryl. You look really pretty, Cheryl.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
I like that shirt. Where'd you get that? You didn't get it at the Islander. You missed an opportunity here.
One of your favorite other stores, Anthropology.
Oh, I love that store too. Oh, I love Anthropology. Yeah, that's a nice store.
So, Anita, we invited Cheryl on because she had a couple of things she wanted to say to you. So, Cheryl,
Take it away.
take it away.
Well, I just wanted to say that you are definitely a leader, and the challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not be a bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor but without folly. And I think that pretty much sums it up. And I want to thank you for your last how many years on the council, and you will be missed. But it's my benefit because then I get to see you more.
That's right. You see more of me, you see less of Ray.
That might be a thing, though.
Like hitting the lottery.
Oh, I hear him. Oh, I didn't know he was there. Gosh darn it. How are you, Murphy?
Beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. How's the puppy, Cheryl?
The puppy is good. I can show you if you can see my arm. Hold on. It looks like he likes to.
Oh no.
bite me.
Oh no. Eesh.
So.
Oh well.
He's a devil.
Mm.
Smart, but he's
Now she's got two devils.
yeah. No, I got two devils. Right.
This is so nice.
We want to thank you for coming on, Cheryl. We appreciate your time very much.
I'll see you soon, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Bye, honey.
Bye-bye. Big thank you to Cheryl. And
She is wonderful.
right.
She's a great store manager. She's just great. She's great. So what did you think that if you told me, hey, we're gonna do a roast or whatever the heck this is, I would have said no? You were right.
What do you mean by that?
It's not a roast.
I can click the. Oh, Ron Fleming.
Madam Mayor.
Hi, honey. I thought you guys were going out to dinner.
It is always a pleasure to address you. However, I must first have a cocktail.
Oh, what a trip he
This
is.
was prepared by my most wonderful wife, who is a singer. You're going to experience that soon. But seriously, Anita, thank you so much for being our mayor. You were
Oh
our
my
mayor
gosh.
20 years ago, or whenever it was.
Back in the day.
And I'm looking forward to when you are able, if you so choose, and I don't blame you if you don't want to run for office again. Your leadership on this island has been fantastic. You got us away from Lee County and their restrictions, although to this day, I do not understand how Lee County owns the pier and so many prime properties on this island. But that's all besides. All right, thank you, Jim. All right.
Oh, gosh.
You're a friend. I value your friendship, especially in this last couple of weeks. You have shown that you are exemplary, and you exceeded what the state did. And thank God you did that. For you and the other council to cancel the Shrimp Festival, which is by far our largest event. That took courage. And as I told you when I addressed council, there will be people who say you did not do enough. There will be people who told you you went too far. I lean towards too far. I love the beach. I am now forced to ride my bicycle wearing a helmet because I'm riding on concrete. But I will do that. And I encourage that this town remain closed until it's over. Stop. Now you are going to hear from the most wonderful voice that I've ever heard. Oh, and by the way, today is the 9th anniversary of my retirement from 37 years of public service with the Dayton Fire Department. So
Good for you.
I vote for myself. So happy game.
Hey, wait a second. I thought you guys were going out to dinner.
No.
I got crab cakes ready to go.
Okay.
I'm the cook.
I need to deliver shirts, but I can't do it until I do this. So this is all like in the last minute. My very good high school as well as college friend is accompanying me from Wisconsin. So
go Badgers.
Yeah, so just, take it for what it is, and we'll go from there.
It's not much.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Here we go. She's a beautiful pianist. And you're so knowledgeable. You're the one I idolize. T, you're so tropical. And A, you're a special friend to all. C, you're the caring one. E, you're the exceptional one. R, you're a radiant beam of sun. E, you're the ex-mayor. And C, you're the compassionate one. And E, you're everything to FMB. D, you're a darling. And finally, A, we all applaud you for all that you have done. Put it all together, Anita Saracita. You mean the world to all of us.
Oh my Lord, Jan. That was so nice, Jan. I don't know why. I just felt like you were going to break into All in the Family or something there. That was awesome.
Contacted me today, and I'm like, well, I don't just want to say words. I want to sing or whatever. So I contacted my high school friend who's awesome at the piano, and I said, Ellie, you got to do this for me.
Jan, you need to call Bill Veach now and join in his little thing that is so fun.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that was
did
wonderful.
Get an email about that, but Anita, we love you. We couldn't
I
have
love
been
you
better
too, Jan.
man
Thank you.
during this
Thank you.
crisis.
Anita, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
This is
Jan.
something
Thank you,
else.
Ron. Thank you so
Jeez
much for
Louise.
coming on.
You know, if I'd known all this was going to happen, I would have done something with my hair. And thank you. That was so nice. Thank you, Ed.
I think the best part of that first shot of you when you come on is seeing how the hair looks. So that doing your hair.
Listen, I have a funny thing to tell you. So Seal Spuler, my buddy Seal, I don't think she's ever missed a town council meeting. Forget about me. She's always gone to the town council meetings. Seal would judge or gauge, Seal and Miffy both would gauge how I was in the course of a meeting, my frustration level or just whatever, by how many times I touched my hair. She'd say, I'd look at Miffy and I'd say, there she goes. Something's going to happen. There she goes.
That's funny.
It was like it was my triggers. I don't know. Anyway, that was so nice. Thank you so much. That was lovely.
You know,
really
the great part about all these folks is there was no rehearsal for this. It's just like they're using their phone, they're using their computer, and so far
very
everything's
impromptu.
worked pretty good. And while we're on a roll here, let's pop somebody else in here. Your friend Margaret is with us. This is your life, Anita Saracita.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Oh, I love this woman. Oh, she's smiling so beautifully.
I think she might be
think she's
locked in a
frozen.
smile, so her phone might be locked there. See, as soon as I said something, I put the big jinx on it. Margaret, can you hear us okay? Oh, we lost.
Margaret, can you hear us? She's smiling, but we can't hear her.
Have any sound?
She's gonna figure out how to do it.
Yeah. You know, Margaret, if you just try and reboot it or start it over, that might do it. But now, who's Margaret? Tell everybody in the audience.
Well, Margaret Schaefer was she was a very good friend of my mother's. They were in the Pilot Club together, which the Pilot Club was the precursor to the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation. And it's how I kind of scalped the Pilot Club for employees when I opened Local Color. And Margaret and her marvelous husband, Ron, were some of my very first employees at Local Color. And I used to joke with them because I told them I didn't know why I paid them because they had such a good time. They would dance in the store. You just never met a finer couple than Margaret and Ron Schaefer. And Margaret has been so incredibly great to me all these years. She's like my bookkeeper. She works in the store. She's my sounding block. She is wonderful. She's really
Anita,
wonderful.
what did you
They're from Chicago.
What did you first think when you heard that Marco was going to open up their beach? It didn't last 24 hours, but when you saw that story, what were your thoughts?
I thought, how are they going to do this? Now, do you know Marco Island at all?
We've been out there a couple times, not much.
So I thought, are they going to just open maybe Tiger Tail Beach, or I didn't know what they were going to do, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And then I thought it was even more interesting when I see that the city manager kind of overrode that. He had the authority to override the vote of the council, which was split. I wish them good luck. I hope he doesn't pay a price for that. I think he made the right decision. But, far be it for me to opine on another municipality's decisions, because I think, again, everybody's doing the best they can with what they've got. And, Roger Hernstadt came from Marco Island. So that was his last job. So I wish them good luck with that. I just don't know how in the world how would they do it? I don't, when it gets to the point where we get to do it, I don't know how that will work, but there's a lot of really smart people on the council, so they'll figure it out.
Right. So let's see if Margaret, we got some sound from you.
She still has no sound.
No sound, just your prettiness there. For some reason we're not hearing you, and then we lost her there. Oh, we tried to get Margaret on. As soon as I said something,
that's a surprise. Margaret Schaefer, God bless her little soul. She's wonderful.
Have you?
Where did you round these people up, Ed?
I'll never give away my sources. You know that. So, what have you found on your front door lately that would be interesting to the audience?
A painted rock that it has a little pineapple face on it. That came today, and I love it. I left it in my little pile of shells because it looks really cute. Let's see there was something yesterday. Something came. Oh, a very, very nice note came yesterday.
Yeah.
A very nice note. And I don't think that there's anything else that I could think of interesting in the last couple of days. It's been a slow porch day.
Yeah. Have you gotten out more than usual, or are you still trying to?
Nope. I'm here. My sister Lyda told me that it was very important these next 2 weeks to be especially cognizant of, staying home, not being around anyone. And so I have. I mean, it's just, Jan's been on my front porch a couple of times, leaving stuff for me for the FMB t-shirt thing, but
and that's still going strong, right? I mean, the shirts.
It is. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so tickled about it. So, you know what? I did see somebody. My little buddy Randy Stam. He cuts my grass, and today he was just doing all kinds of stuff out in my yard. So I did talk to him today. Gave him some lemonade. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we have another set of guests. The final set of guests here.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. You probably know who these fine folks are.
No, Anita, my girl.
your haircut?
No, Anita.
Like
Listen, this is about you. And finally, we get a forum to celebrate you. I mean, the plans we had have all, gone to hell, right? So Hank is going to say a few words, but, I have to start.
Look how, of course, if you have to start and you're going to interrupt. So we know how.
No, I'm not going to interrupt him, I promise. But here's what I want to say is I love the fact that my friend Anita has found a way to weave humanity into every aspect of your service to our community. I love it. And I think the thing is, it's a big deal being a mayor, okay? But I think I told you it's much more important to me that Anita is my friend. So
estamos amigos.
Juntos. Okay. Y aquí es, and here's my beautiful buddy.
Hank, you look so good in purple. I swear, that is your color.
She doesn't stop, does she?
No. Hola, mi amor. ¿Cómo
Hola,
estás?
querido. Yo bastante bien.
Bastante bien. Great.
Sí.
In Greek mythology, there was a guy who was supposed to stand on the shore of Sparta and call into the soldiers when he saw sails coming to attack. He did that for several days and nobody came. Then all of a sudden, hundreds of ships came up and he looked and he looked and he looked. And his fellow soldiers said, call, do something. And he said, I have a heavy tongue. Well, I have a heavy tongue when I'm talking to you now, because here's what we have to say. This resolution was passed on March 17. As you know, we were going to have a motorcade in your honor to go to the county board. They acted without us, and we have to do the best we can. But here's the resolution. Mayor Anita Saracita, a native Southwest Floridian, began serving the residents of the town of Fort Myers Beach nearly 25 years ago.
There you go.
And Anita's civic-mindedness led her to serve as the inaugural mayor of the town from December 31, 1995, through its first 4 years. In recognition of her valued leadership and ongoing commitment to her community, Anita Sarah was elected as councilperson for the town in 1999, re-elected in 2016, also returning as mayor in 2014, and finally in 2018. In both avenues of service, Anita has been extremely active in her community, serving on various committees. And I had the honor of serving with her on the local plan commission.
Aren't you lucky?
And the Tourist Development Council. She said she wasn't going to interrupt.
It never happens, Hank. You know that.
Anita imparts knowledge and wisdom to those she mentors, kindness and selflessness to those in need, and inspiration and encouragement to those she leads, like us. She has dedicated herself to the highest standards of professionalism and excellence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Board of the Lee County does hereby acknowledge and extend warmest congratulations for her service and dedication. This was passed and executed in our absence on March 17, 2020. Love you, dear.
I love you too, Hank. Thank you so much. You guys are wonderful.
Really appreciate the opportunity to stop our world and celebrate with so many people who love you and appreciate your leadership. You go, girl.
Why couldn't you tell me about this, Marge? I would have done something better with my hair. I would have worn something more.
Oh, you're a mess anyway.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hank. Thank you, Marge.
Thanks.
Thank you for all the help. Appreciate it.
Hasta domingo.
Oops.
Nice.
Oh, you see, I had no idea about that resolution. That was neat.
I had no idea about it either until Commissioner Sandelli and Hank told me about it, and I thought, man, is that nice? But all this stuff, of course, makes me feel, one, really old, and two, like maybe I'm going to die soon. I don't know. It's very funeral-y, Oh.
It's much better.
No,
it's much better when you're
celebratory.
alive and you have fabulous hair that you have all these celebrations. So
So, Hank and Marge Zuba are, you talk about touchstones. They are, for me, I just couldn't imagine my life without them. They're really, really, and they're so different, they're very, very different. When I want to talk about something serious like a project or an idea or of something political, it's Hank. If I want to talk about process or I just want to gossip a little bit or something like that, and Marge is so stinking supportive. I mean, they're really great friends to me. Really, really great friends to me. Yeah, I love them. Krista wants a parade. Hey, Krista, let's not get carried away, honey. This is so nice. Thank you so much, Ed.
You're welcome.
And Kim,
all
thank
Kim's
you.
idea. Were you have you heard anything from anybody? I feel like I'm asking this question of so many different people, where you get a glimmer of hope that we're leveling off or the numbers are flattening or anything like that. Have you heard? I read something today about Lee County, but then I look at New York and it's 2 good days and then 2 horrible days. So anything?
Yeah, so nothing. I don't know who I told today that as far as I'm concerned, until my sister Lida tells me it's all clear, it's not clear. Yeah. And that's just because, she's dealing with this every single day. But I have not heard anything like that. Now, that'd be a good question to ask Ray, because he's on these calls now every day, and I'm sure he knows a lot more about what's going on today than I do. But I just can't, I think we're still at least 2 weeks behind these other states that are popping up. So you saw Louisiana pop up for the impact of Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras happened, 2 weeks or a little bit more before our spring break started to kick in. Now, fortunately, our spring break got cut and they all went someplace else. So in large part, our numbers will, if all those people had stayed, our numbers would be far more dramatic. But no, I haven't heard anything about anything leveling off. No, I have not. What I have been amazed by is that people are persevering with this stay-at-home stuff. I continue to be amazed.
A couple of things. I was reading a Bloomberg article about Zoom and then how Zoom has taken off. Like the guy's having a hard time just keeping up with the capacity because everybody's using it now.
And didn't they put in some new safety features so you don't get?
Yeah, it gets updated all the time, and
Well,
now
he
there's
was certainly not expecting business to
well, I mean,
tenfold in a week.
They're working out the bugs for the Zoom bombing, so people can't just come into your meeting, which has happened a couple of times when I've been using it. You got the waiting room now, and they're continuing to refine that, and I think other platforms are kind of getting in on that game because there is just so much of it to do.
You mean like when you were using it, somebody just popped up that you didn't know?
Well, I was in a meeting where someone came in and they had the wrong meeting, but if you put in the wrong code, you
could end up someplace where you don't belong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing was I was listening to the Wall Street Journal has a podcast, and Dr. Fauci was on that. He seems to be everywhere now. He's on every podcast. He's on every newscast, and he was saying that you might see pockets of the country where if they had a capacity for 50, maybe they're going to have 25 tables or a restaurant or something like that. It's going to be a slow roll in different areas of the country. And I was talking to a manager in Hawaii yesterday, asking him about a radio manager, asking him about his beach. Well, their beaches are open for the residents. They're still allowed to go on the beach for a walk. They're allowed to fish and they're allowed to surf. They just can't stop and sit and relax and congregate, but they have enforcement.
Yeah, I think is that not true? I think Volusia and maybe even Brevard County are also doing that. But think about this. Those are very, very big beaches too. It's a lot of space. It's miles and miles. I don't know. Here's what I do know. With these 5 people sitting on the town council right now, when whenever that moment is that they make that decision to open the beach, whether it's, to everyone or to just beach residents or whatever the case may be, I know it will be well thought out, and Roger will have a plan for enforcement, and I'm just sure that it'll be the right moment. When that is, I have no idea.
And Ray did say on Monday after the town council meeting that he would come on and give everybody an update, when he felt like there was new news. So that's a great thing to be able to do that.
Good.
A couple of times people have asked us if you would consider running for other office. Would you ever run for county board or the mayor of Fort Myers?
Well, I couldn't run for the mayor of Fort Myers because I don't live in Fort Myers. I live in Fort Myers Beach. So I'd have to move, and that's not happening.
Right.
And, one of my employees the other day was lobbying me to do that. And I appreciate that very much. But, it's just, I think in order to run for a county office or something else, and I've done it and lost, those were great experiences. I met some wonderful people. I learned a lot about myself and the county, but I just, that's not in my heart at this point. And now I'm not going to say never, because you know what? I never thought I'd run for the town council again. And there I was. So, who knows what life has in store? I'm anxious to see. But like next week or this year or whatever, no.
So what are you planning to do now with all this time that you're going to have?
Well, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but my plan was I was going to rent an RV and travel the country.
No way.
Way.
I did not know that.
That's what I was going to do. Now that's been a little derailed. Mm-hmm. One, because I have no income. That's a biggie. And two, because everything's closed. So I hope that will kind of circle back around. Usually I'm in Spain for the summer with my family, and I think I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't see that. Maybe that's a November trip instead of a June or July trip. I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. It's kind of interesting because I don't know what's around the corner, and I like that. I really do. I kind of like it's like I looked at my phone for some reason. There was somebody's birthday coming up, my brother's, and I wanted to see what day of the week it was on. And I looked at my calendar, and it was like, ooh, it was just sort of not totally empty, but not. It didn't look like February. So let's just put it that way. And I think that just means there's a lot of possibilities, and I'm excited for them. Don't know what they are though. No idea.
Yeah. Well, now I guess you can schedule your vacations whenever you want. So if it ends up getting pushed into October or November, you're good to go.
I am. That's right.
What cities would you travel to? Where do you want to go?
Well, so I've never been to Colorado, and I would like to see Colorado. I've only flown over the Grand Canyon. What a pity. I've never seen Mount Rushmore. I've not been to most of the national parks. I've traveled Europe extensively. I've been all the way up the eastern seaboard to Maine, but I've never gone west. And so I want to go to New Mexico and Arizona. And I think California, I've done enough of. I've been in Washington State quite a lot. I've never been to Portland. Idaho, I hear, is beautiful. I always talk about going to Montana and Wyoming is just like, because to me, they're just like big open spaces with nobody I know there. And so when I'm frustrated, I think I'm going to Wyoming or I'm going to Montana. And so I think it's just the idea. It makes some people very nervous not to like have a plan. It doesn't make me very nervous. It used to, but it doesn't now. And so I just thought that would be kind of great to load Stella up and then have people like Marge says, well, you could drive to Chicago and then you could pick me up. Of course, Marge always thinks about where's Marge going to come in? And so, and then we have this whole Thelma and Louise idea. I don't know who's who in that movie, but so So lots of different friends of mine have said, well, I want to go to Yellowstone. And so then I can imagine that friend of mine, meeting me in Yellowstone, and then they go on a little bit of a way. So it's kind of like the history of the traveling pants, only it's only it's not.
Well, I can tell
Talk
you
about
that.
a great podcast. That would be a great podcast.
Well, hey, I will join you. Well, the summer might be out. I mean, we should do that. I went to the Grand Canyon last summer on my solo trip, and I can thoroughly
I remember it.
recommend anything in southern Utah, northern Utah. I know Cheryl mentioned Moab, which is Arches National Park, is not to be missed. And there's probably 10 at least national parks in that area and things to do. So you will stay busy.
You know what, Kim? So I've been out to Vegas a bunch of times because there's great trade shows for my stores out there. And every time I'm there, I think, I'm going to go to all the places that are close by. I can never get out of the damn casinos. So, I have to, this has to be a natural kind of.
Oh, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, we thank you for coming on, and we hope to do this more.
This has been quite a surprise. I thank you all these people that I love so much you brought on here. That's wonderful. That's really great.
Thank you for always giving us honest feedback about the show, and please don't stop doing that. It's appreciated. And
listen,
do
people actually know that? Do people actually know that? How many times I have sent you a message and said, Ed, you need to shut up on this, or Ed, what are you doing? Why are you poking the bear? Why are a million times.
They don't know that until now. Thank you very much.
Well, and I think all these people coming on really is a testament to what you have stood for and what you mean to that community down there, and the length of time and the service that you have given. And I think people just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you and to express their genuine feelings of care and concern and love for you. And so we were glad to be able to have this opportunity to provide this forum.
Kim. That's so nice. There is nothing that so you asked me why I got emotional last time, and I won't right now, but it's been the honor of my life to be the mayor of this town, to be a council member. There's just nothing that will ever compare to it. And I wouldn't have traded even some of the difficult moments. I wouldn't trade a single solitary one of them. And I've appreciated so much being given that opportunity, because, it is something that somebody gives you. It's like, here, we want you to do this job. And you say, thank you. Thank you very much. I love doing it.
Well, we thank you for coming on, and we will invite you again soon when we can go over some other things.
Next time, you better be truthful about why I'm coming on here, or it'll be the last time, Ed Ryan.
and just to do the opposite of what happened to you on Monday, we're going to drop out of the box and let you be the last one on instead of the.
Oh, wow! Oh, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for everything. It was a great ride. I hope to see you around the block soon. I don't know how to get out of here, though. Maybe I already am.